Now, of course, we all know Utaha from Wednesday Campanella, but this solo project has been so exciting. I've heard 2 songs so far, and do you know what? It really is interesting to see Utaha going in this direction of doing what I think is her expressing a lot of personal things. Now, obviously, Wednesday Campanella is a legendary group who I've loved for so many years now. I think over a decade now I've been following Wednesday Campanella, and obviously one of the strongest qualities of them is that they managed to infuse so many creative ideas with also a sort of radio-friendly pop sort of vibe very often. You know, it's accessible, but it's also creatively crazy. And a lot of their lyrics are related to things like, you know, stories or historic characters. But Utaha just comes across, as you've probably noticed from things like interviews and stuff if you followed her, as someone who's got a lot of her own story to tell. And from the 2 songs we heard so far, My Body Is Cute, which was just such an uplifting, like really infectiously joyous pop song, that really felt like her talking about how she's described in the past, her finding her old, like her whole image and everything, and how she sort of like struck it into her own unique sort of sense of fashion and just sort of found herself. And then Teenager was a bit of a darker song, really cool soundscape that took us in a different direction as well, kind of growing up, I guess. And now we come on to this new song called Deny that came out 2 weeks ago. I was kind of ill, to be honest, and so there was a lot of songs that came out right when I was really bedridden ill, and as a result I missed a lot of them, and I've been trying to catch up on them, and finally here we are with Utaha with Deny. I'm really excited about this because as a Wednesday Campanella fan and someone who really enjoyed the last 2 songs I had from her, can't wait for it. Now, this song's almost 5 minutes long, which is interesting because, just to give an idea, the first 2 songs we heard were relatively short and concise. I mean, probably if you put them both together, they wouldn't be much longer than 5 minutes. But the thing I noticed is that they both had really good soundscapes. I did feel that on the mix, both of them were weirdly mushy in the bottom end as well. You know, they didn't quite have much of a kick to them, even if the songs were kind of bouncy, like the kick was a bit missing. So I'm looking a little bit to see about whether the mix is nice on these songs. Also to see tonally, you know, as a longer song, what's going on there. But I don't know. Look, the first 2 songs were really different. That was the main thing I really liked. I like when songs are unique and each really molds around the message that's trying to be conveyed. The music video already looks like it's going to be a bit more of a story time kind of thing. So anyway, let's just jump in. Let's see what Utaha's got to express in this song. I'm just excited. This is really cool. I don't know what to get, but 5 minutes. Let's find out. Deny by Utaha. Cicadas. It's reminding me how hot it is here right now in Japan. Huh. Okay. Oh, this doesn't look good. Is there lyrics for this? No, okay. Okay, so again, we got that slightly strange mix, but yeah, the rock, sort of a very emotional sort of rock song. Loving that sort of weird, spacey keyboard sound in the side there. So this girl she's chasing seems to symbolize something. It's a very sort of raw rock song in a lot of ways. Sorry, it's a bit quiet as well, so I hope you can hear it properly. Yeah, in a way, this almost feels like it's more about what I was saying earlier, her finding herself. Yeah. There's a joy to the song, but you can also feel a real intensity to the sort of like very heavy hitting playing of the guitars and the drums. Wow, that was nearly 5 minutes. That went very fast. Always a sign of a good song. Wow, that was 5 minutes very quickly dispensed with. Yeah, that felt like 3 minutes. I thought we were still quite early in the song. I think that's a frame that we can definitely leave up because it's a very interesting one. Okay, so yeah, this is again, I'm glad to say a third song taking a very different sound, a very different approach. I mean, already what a fulfilling album or mini album or whatever the hell she's releasing. I haven't actually checked yet. This is definitely going to be, because these 3 tracks are all brilliant in very different ways. So this again, the background, it's just a very sort of the sound is all your traditional sort of core rock band instruments, with exception to that one really cool synthesizer that I enjoyed in the verses. That keyboard sound in the verses that was really nice, kind of gave a bit of a spaced out nostalgic feel to things. Again, like it seems to be the case on this EP album thing, using a slightly lo-fi style keyboard or synthesizer sound, which again, that nostalgic feel, makes it feel a little spacey, but also kind of a little bit more old school, I guess, taking you back to a younger age. I mean, obviously she's quite young, so her childhood wouldn't have been that long ago for old people like me, but you get what I'm saying. No, it was very, very cool kind of hearing those kind of more nostalgic sounds in there. But the basic song was based around the very sort of core low distortion kind of, distorted but not super distorted kind of gainy guitar, very much rock sounds, a very sort of a very sort of room-sounding drum kit where there's a lot of fizz coming from the overheads, the cymbals and everything. It sounds sort of like garagey in a way, a garage band style sound to it. And that to me really just worked because, this song, whereas the other two had sounded very kind of like there was a little bit more of a poppy quality to them, this felt very sort of raw and intense. And, right down to the fact that the playing, again, very sort of a sort of noisy feel to it, even though it wasn't a super loud song. It was that sort of noisy garage style playing, and then the way it built up at the end of the drum kits are just sort of bam, 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 bam hitting, but it still has a sense of joy. What started off as a slight feeling of introversion, by the end of the song was kind of a feeling of joy. I like the way it took you through that journey. The video obviously was a big part of this. Now, I couldn't get the lyrics on the screen. I've got little bits, but my Japanese is not good enough to understand everything, and so I don't want to pretend to really understand the full meaning of the song. But clearly a lot was coming across here. The young girl, I don't know exactly what she signified, some sort of image of hope or something, but the way she's reaching for her and I couldn't quite grab her and stuff. But it was interesting in the way she unlocks the door to let her in, and then that's the moment where she walks out and cuts her hair. So the feeling of hope connected to this girl. I don't know, the comparison of who she is and who she could be. It could be anything like that. I'm not a media studies major, as you'd call it in America, so I don't know. But you definitely got the vibe that there was a lot of symbolism in this, and it even if like the butterfly and everything, it was all there. You got the feeling. You understood what was being conveyed. And there is obviously a sort of a heaviness to the imagery, stuff with the scissors and everything. These are things we've seen before, and obviously media as a general, but music videos as well. But it is interesting because obviously knowing her story and knowing that she didn't feel, from the way she's described it, she didn't feel like she fit in, and then she kind of found herself. It is interesting because the fringe thing, like say, she has a slightly high fringe, which really shows her eyes, which is again like she does a lot to present her face, and she's a very expressive person. So it is interesting how there's that kind of element to showing more of her face and letting herself out. Symbolism as well, again, unlocking the door. But I really liked how so much of that was conveyed in this video, that you really kind of got this sense of her. It's not like she fights and overcomes her bullies, which is such a Hollywood approach that you could take to answer that. It's not about her getting revenge on her bullies or anything like that. It's more about her just finding confidence in herself. I mentioned this obviously with the Ano-chan, who I know Ano and Utaha both met on Ano's TV show, which was amazing. If you ever get to see them play that soccer game with each other in the studio, and answering questions, that was very cool. But yeah, it was interesting because Ano had a video which was of a similar thing, which was about bullying, although that was mostly presented through like little stop motion clay plasticine characters. But again, one of the things that I loved so much about that was the fact that it wasn't so much about beating the bullies, it was more about sort of like finding a bit of acceptance within yourself. And I like that. I like when you get things like this where you really do feel it comes from an honest, heartfelt place. And I don't know, just everything about the three songs we've heard so far, this one as well, they definitely feel like they come from a heartfelt place. They feel very honest. They feel very, very much about her kind of catharsis, her finding joy in herself by expressing herself. And just another song that did that brilliantly. I thought this was wonderful. I really enjoyed this. Sorry for being so late to getting around to it, but this is exciting. I mean, this could be this EP album. I'm assuming it's an EP, 2024, of course. Mini album, sorry. This is a mini album, or album, but I'm assuming mini album. At this rate, could be one of the best things, if not the release of this year. It's just so promising so far from what we heard. So great stuff. As always, anyway, get in the comments, tell me what you think, and until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these. For now, ciao, ciao.